Good afternoon. I made clear during the election that a Conservative government would stand up for Britain's place in the world.
If ministerial responsibility will apply, collective responsibility.
I believe the biggest challenge is that of Islamist extremism and violence. Here at this summit, we've discussed our joint efforts to defeat Islamist extremism and the terrorists that threaten communities across the G7 and across the world. In Iraq, we have a three-pronged strategy to deal with this threat. First, help to train Iraqi security forces so they can defeat ISIL on the ground. We've already been training Kurdish forces, and we will deploy an additional 125 military personnel to expand this training across Iraq. Second, clear political support for Prime Minister Abadi, with whom I met this afternoon, and his efforts to lead an inclusive government that brings the country together against the common enemy that is ISIL. Finally, we discussed what more we can do to stop the spread of this poisonous ideology by tackling its root causes at home and abroad. There's the risk of ISIL terrorists exploiting ungoverned space to establish a new base from which to plot attacks against Europe. And there's the open corridor that criminal gangs are currently exploiting to make Libya the new gateway to Europe for people smuggling. At this summit, we've agreed to give our full backing to the UN-led effort to put in place a national unity government in Libya, and we continue to push for the comprehensive approach that I've spoken about. Finally, Russia. The G7 is united on what needs to happen next to de-escalate the crisis in Ukraine. Existing sanctions must remain in place until Minsk agreements are fully implemented. This will require action from both Ukraine and Russia. That's why it's vital we ensure President Poroshenko's government has the support needed to deliver the necessary political and economic reforms. The UK is already providing support through our Good Governance Fund and will continue to look at what more we can do.
It will have a clear view. Very simple question.
I don't think that's the case at all. I think the Conservative Party is delighted that we've got a renegotiation, reform and referendum agenda. There's complete unity about that, how the manifesto set that out. That's what I said yesterday. I mean, what I said is that if you want to be part of the government, you have to take the view that we're engaged in an exercise of renegotiation to have a referendum that will lead to a successful outcome. That is what I said. I feel that there was a misinterpretation, which is why I woke up and read the newspapers and thought, well, I will repeat what I said and make that very clear.
If you are a minister and do not share that government's